ella. It's all about having your dreams and what you want to do in life clear in your head, and I have no doubt that I can accomplish everything that I want.
I'm excited, I'm excited. We're going to go to your opponent for just a second. Elias Espadas, thank you for joining us. Unbeaten in your last 6 fights. He's unbeaten in his last 6 fights. What do you bring to the table that you can challenge Xander with?
Invicto en tus últimas 6 peleas, ¿qué sientes que traes tú para pelear contra Xander?
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas tardes a todos, un placer estar aquí. Bueno, pues Xander es un gran peleador, es un muchacho que va subiendo. Me siento confiado, me siento seguro en la preparación que hemos hecho. Yo sé que este sábado vamos a brindar un gran show.
Hi to everybody that's here. Thank you so much for coming. Xander is a great fighter that's coming up. I feel very confident to come and compete him, and I believe that we're going to have a great fight.
Does his experience challenge Xander in a way that he hasn't been challenged before?
¿Crees que tu experiencia puede competir contra Xander en una manera individual que no ha sido en esa pelea Xander, una pelea única?
Bueno, yo creo que sí, pero pues la pelea la va a ganar el que más quiera ganar esa noche. Y yo tengo muchas ganas de ganarla y pues les digo que va a ser una muy buena pelea ese sábado.
I believe so. I think whoever is going to win is the person that wants to win the most, and I think I want to win the most, so I do believe that it's going to be a great fight.
It's going to be a great battle. Xander, back to you. Espadas has 26 fights, never been knocked out. Does that come into play into your mind? And what kind of feather or notch in your belt would it be, or what would it mean to you if you were able to stop him in that fashion?
Bueno, pues primero que nada sabemos que Elías Espada es un guerrero mexicano que viene con mucha motivación, nunca ha sido noqueado, pero no tengo esa presión. Vamos a obtener la victoria, sabemos lo que tenemos que hacer dentro del cuadrilátero y no importa cómo venga, voy a traerle ese título regional de la WBO a Puerto Rico. We know that Elias Espadas is a great fighter, a Mexican warrior that is coming to fight. He's motivated, and I have no pressure about knocking him out. I know I'm gonna do my thing, gonna listen to my corner, and get the victory, and get that WBO regional title back to Puerto Rico.
I love it. Bernardo Osuna would be so proud of you right now. He's the best at the business of doing that, and I know Bernardo's tuning in right now. He'd be so proud of you right now. Elias, you're from Mexico, he's from Puerto Rico. Does Saturday night set us up for another great Mexican-Puerto Rico battle?
Elías, tú eres de México y él es de Puerto Rico. ¿Tú crees que este sábado va a ser una de esas peleas épicas de México contra Puerto Rico?
Así va a ser, y este sábado México se va a ir para arriba. Él quiere ganar, yo quiero ganar, y pues el sábado se va a demostrar.
Yeah, I believe so. He wants to win, I want to win, and this Saturday it's going to be a great fight, and I do believe I'm going to win.
We're excited. Xander, one last question for you. This is Las Vegas. We're in this incredible brand new resort. Look at this setting. You know, we're getting a little bit more and more creative with these press conferences. We're holding them in unique places. How special is it to you to be part of the Top Rank family and have these weekends and being able to experience this incredible weekend of fighting?
Man, it's amazing. It's a blessing to me. 19 years old, never imagined this ever in my life. 19 in a press conference, my 3rd fight as a co-main event in a great card. Teofimo's Lopez comeback. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here. I'm happy, and I'm hungry to put on a show Saturday night. And I'm going to show the world what I'm the best prospect in boxing right now.
I love it. And you just mentioned the comeback. Here we are. Teofimo Lopez, Pedro Campa, thank you for joining us. It is our main event Saturday night. Teo, I want to talk with you right out of the gate. It's been almost 2 years since you fought on ESPN. How special is it for you to be back at this brand new resort headlining ESPN?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank God. I want to thank Him for all of us being here today. First and foremost on that part. I mean, at the end of it all, it's too much energy. I feel like that's what it is. Anywho. Like I said, man, it feels great. You know, it's great to be back here, back at home, ESPN, on the platform, the greatest platform in the world, really, and alongside with Top Rank. You know, for everybody being here, man, it's Vegas for the weekend. So, hey, let's just have a great time. Let's put on a show for everybody, and I can't wait to show everyone why Teofimo is the greatest of all time.
You mentioned Vegas weekend. Are there distractions when you come to Las Vegas, or is it pretty easy for you to follow camp and go right through fight week?
Nah, a true champion never gets distracted. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of it all, man, this ain't my first rodeo. 21 years in the game, blood, sweat, and tears. So do your research. See it. 5-time world champion. We just here to go and dominate and do what we always do, entertain.
Pedro Campa, this fight has been billed as the comeback for Teofimo Lopez. Do you feel that you are being overlooked here?
Pedro, esta pelea la están anunciando como el gran retorno de Teofimo López. ¿Crees que te están sobreviendo? Creo que no te están dando tu respeto que te mereces.
Bueno, primeramente, gracias por la oportunidad, bendecido con Dios. Y la verdad, eso me tiene sin cuidado. Yo vengo bien preparado, sé lo que voy a hacer arriba del ring porque sé la clase de rival que está enfrente de mí. Es un boxeador grande en el mundo del boxeo, pero estoy concentrado, estoy bien preparado para mi pelea.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. I'm blessed to be here. I really don't care what people think. I know what I'm facing to. I know he's a great fighter, one of the best. So I'm prepared and I'm just concentrating and I think I'm going to win.
Preparation is the key. Recently, you brought in Manny Robles into your corner. What's a camp like with him now as your trainer? And what have you seen improve in your skill set since he's joined you?
La preparación es la llave de todo. Recientemente trajiste a Manny Robles a tu campamento. ¿Qué crees que te ha ayudado Manny en este nuevo campamento y que te va a ayudar contra esta pelea?
Bueno, sabíamos la clase de rival que nos vamos a enfrentar el sábado. Me entrené muy fuerte, la verdad, porque, como lo vuelvo a repetir, sabíamos el rival que teníamos. Manny Robles es un entrenador que nos entendimos muy bien, sabe muy bien lo que quiere que haga y yo estoy listo para obedecer lo que él me diga.
As I said, I know the rival that we have. He's a big rival that we have ahead of us. That's why we did bring Manny, and me and Manny have a great communication. We did learn a lot together, and yeah, I'm just very prepared for this fight.
Teo, there's been a lot of chatter about who you're going to fight next, what's happening down the line. How do you stay focused on the gentleman to my left?
None of it is possible unless we finish the job. You know what I mean? This guy's in front of me to stop my dreams and stop everything that we're shooting for. You know what I'm saying? Every time I go out there in the ring, I'm risking everything. I'm risking my life. We double down every time. When it comes to me, it's just me versus me, no one else. And I thank God for that. He's always in my corner. And I look forward to just shutting a lot of mouths up, open their mouths up too. So that way we could just keep going and letting them know the takeover. It's not don't call it a comeback now. It's a takeover.
It's the takeover. It's almost 9 months since your first and only defeat. What did you take away from that experience? How has it made you not only a better fighter, but a better person? And what we're going to see Saturday night?
I love how God works in mysterious ways. You know what I'm saying? I've accomplished so much within my 5 years in the pro game. You know what I'm saying? And that's all from the grace of the Lord. So I just look at it like this, man. My first loss, yeah, cool. This ain't my first loss. This is actually my 21st loss, if we count the amateurs as well. So I always bounce back. I'm always that type of person. You know what I'm saying? The first step to success is failure. And tonight, Saturday night, definitely a lot of people are going to tune in on that, man. I just want to be someone that's going to inspire others, inspire the new generation that's on the rise, and just perform at my best.
La Roca is your nickname. Punching power is what you bring inside the ring. Do you think that you can damage Teofimo or possibly even knock him out Saturday night?
La Roca es tu apodo. Tienes un gran punch, estás muy fuerte. ¿Tú crees que con tu fuerza le puedes pegar a Teofimo e incluso noquearlo?
Podemos hacer cosas interesantes arriba del ring. Primeramente, creo que vengo por la victoria. A como el lugar me la quiero llevar para México, para mi gente de Guaymas y de Sonora.
First of all, I think anything can happen, but the main thing is victory. So I'm going to take that victory however I can take it, and I'm going to take it to Guaymas and all my people in Sonora.
Thank you very much for being here. Teo, one last question for you. Campa's fought primarily his entire career in Mexico. What do you expect from him Saturday night after reviewing tape?
I don't really watch too much tape of these fighters. I let my coach, my head coach, Teofimo Lopez Sr., watch it. I trust him in his abilities. when it comes to it, you know, he has that Mexican style boxing, you know, aggressive. You know, he's gonna come out there. This is gonna be an all-out war. This is gonna be a fight, and I'm very excited about that, man. I love competition. I love what's in front of me. You know, the bigger the level, the bigger the devil. But my God is greater. So it's all about just staying focused on that part, man. I think everybody tuning in for real, man. I bring something to everything. I bring something to the table that not a lot of fighters bring, and that's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So tune in. You guys don't want to miss it. It'll be live on ESPN. And if you don't have cable, you can get it on ESPN Plus app. And if you guys are here live in Vegas, it's going to be here at the Resorts World. Get your tickets now for everybody. You guys don't want to miss this. This is the greatest comeback story in history of boxing.
You're doing my job, plugging all the important information.
It's the takeover.
That's right, man. Hey, listen, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today at this time. Simply ask that you leave your microphones on your seats. Thank you to everybody in the building. The energy here at Resorts World, electric. Nothing like Fight Week in Las Vegas. Thank you to everybody tuning in. As always, this is boxing. This is Top Rank, and it goes down Saturday, August 13th. The undercards begin at 3:40 Pacific on ESPN Plus, and then we move over to the network ESPN at 7 p.m. Pacific. Elias Espadas, Xander Zayas, Pedro Campa, Teofimo Lopez. You do not want to miss it. Coming to you live Saturday night from right here inside Resorts World. Enjoy your afternoon, everybody.
thing is, what is he doing to strengthen himself mentally once he gets back to the big level?
We think of the speculation where they finger point at the father. They go, he's trainer change, trainer change. Is that there, or is that?
Again, it's up to Tio. I have people tell me that I need to change trainers, and I knew that my dad had components and no other trainer would have for me. I mean, the next great thing was Barry Hunter. And what did we do? We brought Barry in. We knew that Barry would add to the team. And so, if T.O. is not worried about his team.
Well, they had Joey Gamache when they beat Loma, and then he wasn't there for Ken Bosa. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's on them. It's on them. You can't. We can speculate and all these types of things, but he looks happy. If he's happy going to the ring with the guy next to him, you can't knock him.
Sean, when you say he looks happy, he is also coming off of a loss that kind of like you said, or not you said, but mentally did something to him. What kind of demons are you fighting coming back from your first professional loss like that?
Well, for him in that loss, all of those guarantees that he had made and has made, and this is the takeover and all these things. When you say all these things and you want to manifest all those things, when it doesn't happen, now those things haunt you. Those things become kind of you have to live up to all of those things you said, So if anything, I'm wondering, if he's hesitant to be boisterous, is he hesitant to, kind of be himself? I enjoy watching T.O., Is that just a character? Or is that really him? So I think if anything, we're about to find out.
Is it a case where if you get the knockout, it's easier to go back to being yourself like that?
Yeah. I mean, we saw that at Blair Cobb just this past weekend where I felt like he came out hesitant. He came out, obviously, with a game plan wanting to kind of work accordingly. But then once he lands some shots and he drops his opponent, then it kind of clicks for him to kind of be myself again, So I think it's gonna have to connect for him to start to really be himself again.
And they're talking about Tio and Ryan. Would you give the edge to either guy in that matchup, Sean?
I would give the edge to Tio because I think he's got more weapons offensively. Both guys are explosive, but I think he's more explosive than Ryan Garcia. So that's why I would give him the edge in that fight.
And Sean, I know you got to say something for the Porter Way podcast, but
just for you, baby.
Just because Joshua Usyk's coming up, you beat Usyk, as we know, in the amateurs. You got to mention it. But you talk about moments in boxing. Is that Joshua's best chance? He's got to make a couple moments happen to get a knockout. He can't win over 12 rounds a fight with Usyk. And what do you think of the change to Robert Garcia too?
Think about it like this: when you saw me fight and you saw me being very aggressive, I was trying to take control, and I was trying to establish my game plan and what I wanted to do in the ring. And essentially, I wanted it to be an entire moment. You know what I mean? I didn't want just moments in the fight. I wanted to be able to control that moment from the beginning of the bell to the last bell. And I think that's what Joshua has to do. He can't just have a moment or two. That's not enough for Usyk. You got to control the ring, my man. You got to control the action, and you can't allow Usyk to get started. Usyk's the type of fighter that can create moments. Joshua's not the type of fighter that can create moments. So throw that out the window. Go at this man and don't allow him to get comfortable and find his rhythm.
When people are like, he's just got to be on top of him. How do you actually go about?
That's all good.
It's
nice.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's
because that's what everyone's saying. Like, he's got to be on top of him. You can't box.
He's got to be tactical,
right.
But the way I always see it, and for myself and other fighters as well, like, you have to make your presence known. And when you do that, sometimes that's enough mentally to take a guy off of his game or shut a guy down from executing his game plan. And I think that he has to Joshua has to make his presence felt on fight night against Usyk.
Sean, going back to Ryan or rather Teo and Ryan, Oscar is coming this weekend, but as we all know, talks with Gervonta and him are still going on. Is that maybe a negotiating tactic? You think Oscar coming here, and maybe it's kind of to put some pressure on that?
Well, but I do think that. Well, let's think about it like this: Would Oscar rather work with Top Rank, or would he rather work with PBC, Mayweather, that whole thing? So, you just think about it like that. However, the other side of that is, why not come? Why not CTO? Why not try to make that fight happen? The fight's great too. You know what I mean? It's a very close second. I think the world really wants Tank and Ryan, but Teo and Ryan. I mean, is that even really a second? You know what I mean? So it's 140 and 135 is getting live.
Definitely. Just want. Do you think Robert was a good pick by Joshua style-wise, and what he need? Like, that's the good trainer to get for the adjustments he needs.
I feel so. I feel like that. I feel like Robert is the type of coach that can create a game plan, improve things that a fighter needs to do. All of this before you even, this is your first fight, your first camp together. I believe he's the kind of coach that can do all of that. And then on fight night, once the action gets going, oh shit, that's not working, let's do this. So I think that Robert's the best guy because he's going to have some tricks in his back pocket, and he's going to train accordingly. I like the move for Anthony Joshua to get Robert Garcia in this corner.
Good.
Robert gets a lot of critics for training Joshua since he haven't really trained heavyweights. Do you think it makes a difference for a trainer, training lighter guys and then going to the heavyweight?
The funny thing about that is for a guy to train lighter weight classes, and I watch my dad do this. You can get a heavyweight to fight at a faster pace. And guess what? Usyk fights at a fast pace. What does Joshua need to do? Keep up. What am I going to do? Go to a coach that knows how to get me to run my hands. You know what I mean? So it's an advantage for Joshua to pick up Robert Garcia. And on the other side of that, you're saying, well, he's never trained any heavyweights that we know of. He's probably trained multiple heavyweights in the amateur system. But I don't think that takes away from what Robert knows. I think Robert knows heavyweight power. Robert knows that heavyweights are limited in terms of their oxygen capacity and the things that they can through the course of 12 rounds. So he's smart, and I don't expect him to make any mistakes. I don't want to make him sound like Superman in this instance, but I do. I hold Robert Garcia in high regard, and I just don't see him making mistakes in terms of preparation before the fight.
Sean, with the WBA just mandating Bivol to face Gilberto Ramirez, that's a good fight out at 75 there. How does that play out? I mean,
one of the best fights that can be made at 75. Now you got a guy who is just as big as you, and Ramirez, and loves the action too. That's a great fight. You know what I mean? I think
could hit a little more at 75 too.
Yeah, and here's the great part about boxing is we talk about all these big things that we want, and we forget about some of the other fights that can be made out there. I saw it was like, man, I was like, whoa, we got good, man. Nobody's talked about this. We might have talked about it on the podcast, but nobody's talking about that fight. That's a great fight.
Yeah, I was excited.
Excitement, right?
Right. It was like, thank God they didn't allow him to do something else.
Instant.
So Sean, as we're all as fans waiting for Crawford Spence, what do you think as we're waiting along, hoping it gets announced for November? Where are you at with it?
Just waiting on it to get announced. That's all, man. I think the fight sells itself. I think that hopefully the promoters do what they need to do to make sure that is the biggest promotion that it can be. Both fights deserve it. I've been saying that time and time again.